Right, well, it's Saturday now, and we haven't got a game today because the game we were going to play, Leamington, they've got a game in the Cup. So we've had a training day, and Ross has joined me after the training to talk about all stuff Kings Lynn, I guess, and his career.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
Yeah, not bad. Are you?
Good, I'm good. I guess we'll start off from the start. How did you get into football?
It was at school, really. One of my school teachers, her husband was setting up a football team, and we was about year one, I think, something like that. Just started like year one at school, and he said, "Oh, come down," and a lot of us went down from school, and then just started playing that way and created a team that way, really, and just got playing, and then after a couple of, we always played like a year above, so we were like under sixes, under sevens playing in under eights. And we got battered every single game. Our parents used to just cheer if we got over the halfway line, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I remember when we scored our first goal, everyone just went absolutely ballistic. It was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, just that way really, playing as a kid, and then just progressed playing constantly through with my mates really, and then went up till about under 9, sorry, when manager left, and my dad and my best friend's dad took over as the team as managers, which was an experience playing under my dad,
yeah.
which I ended up doing a bit later on as well, so it was interesting.
So from a young age, did you want to be because quite a lot of kids do want to be a professional footballer when they grow up. Like, was that set into your mind?
Yeah, it was every kid's dream. I mean, obviously growing up, you always watching Match of the Day. Used to go and watch Sheffield United. I used to watch loving Arsenal as well. Obviously Thierry Henry was probably one of my heroes. I used to love watching him play. But no, always from a young age, always wanted to play. I mean, I used to have a small football in the house. I used to kick it around all the time. My mum used to go absolutely bonkers at me in case I smashed anything.
Well, obviously your first kind of step into it would have probably been for Scunthorpe.
Yeah.
Was that as like, did they have you on as a schoolboy or?
So that was about under 10s. I just finished playing. I was on trial at Scunthorpe at Sheffield United when I was about 8. And didn't get signed. Was told I didn't want it enough at under 8s, which was interesting. I mean, I think I was on holiday in Scotland and got told we had a game, so my dad drove me down from Scotland 5 hours to play, and then told me that they weren't going to sign me after. So It was a bit one of those, but it set me in good stead, to be fair. I mean, obviously went to under 10s and decided that was the time. So I could have gone a little bit earlier, but that was the time I thought to then go and ended up signing at under 10, and then obviously my dad was a manager, so he had to leave, but and then my best friend, whose dad was a manager as well, ended up joining me about 6 weeks later, so we both ended up,
fair enough,
me and my best friend both playing.
So how like, because I had Chris on and he kind of went through a process of playing and Sam playing for Norwich, and then kind of being in a way released, but obviously in a way trying to then pave what your career will be. What is it like playing for like a team like Scunthorpe, where at the time probably would have been League 2, League 1?
League 1, yeah.
So what, like, was that your aim to maybe push into it?
Yeah, I think you just want to develop as much as you can, really. I mean, obviously you always want to try and play and make it. I think the main aim is to get to 16 and get a scholar. Yeah. That's the main aim, the main focus that you have. And obviously football's it's a team sport, but when you're in an academy, a lot of people in there for themselves, which obviously at the end of the day it's about you, and about you getting that contract. So there's a lot of you do meet a lot of selfish players along the way, people who aren't very nice to you and things like that, and which I found a lot in going through the system. So, but a lot of people who are doing it for themselves. Well,
I guess doing it for themselves, like, you kind of, if you're going to try and make it, you've kind of got to be selfish at times. And there's been a clip come out about Cristiano Ronaldo when he was in his youth team. A guy, like, the coach said, if one of you two score in this game, you'll be signed on. And the guy that was the person that was against him passed it to him to then score a goal. Like, there is some people like that, but there is also some people that kind of take it for themselves. But obviously at 15, did it feel like your dream was kind of shattered by that point?
So what had happened is I'd not been playing much over the past sort of few weeks and stuff, not really starting and things like that, and wasn't getting much game time. And I'd played a lot of different positions and been moving around quite a little bit, and I think after one of the games, my dad ended up speaking. I remember walking back to the changing room and seeing my dad speaking to one of the coaches. And then I think it was on like a Sunday evening, my mum and dad sat me down and just said, look, obviously things at Scunthorpe at the minute aren't going too great. We spoke to coaches and they said, like, look, when you get to November, you are probably more than likely going to get released. So it's up to you. You can stay until November and get released, or you can leave now and then maybe do something about it and start to work and go and enjoy your football again and start playing. Which for me, absolutely, obviously at 15, you're thinking that your dream's just gone. Do you know what I mean? You think there's no way it's ever going to happen. And it was a tough conversation to have my mum and dad at that age. I just thought about all I wanted to do was give up and just go and play with my mates, really. And I said, because a lot of my mates were there and things like that, and obviously you got people at school who are your friends, they all know that you're there and things like that. So it was a hard thing, especially like going back to school and things like that. But I ended up, without my mum and dad, they supported me and said, look, you've got to do this since you was 5 years old, 6 years old. Just because one person says no and doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. Yeah. So I think the main reason for me getting released was just my size, really. I didn't really grow until after I'd left, really. Yeah. So I was quite small and not getting much game time. So.
Well, obviously after Scunthorpe you went to Halifax, and that probably for you was quite a good move for yourself.
Yeah. So when I got released from Scunthorpe, I went back to playing Sunday League, really. So I didn't join Halifax till I was about 16. So I played a year above playing Sunday League, which was a great experience. Just toughened me up a little bit and playing against people who were a bit bigger, a bit stronger, and I had sort of trials here, there, and went Lincoln, Huddersfield. When I was at Huddersfield, played with Philip Billing. Yeah. He just signed in the youth team, and he was a top player. He was frightening. He was huge. But yeah, so at 16, ended up going down the Halifax Town route, where it was sort of an open trial. Went down and got invited back, and then got signed there, and it was an unpaid scholarship, so it was having to, my mum and dad were kind of funding me to get the train over there and travel and things like that, and went from there, really. Well,
it kind of paid off, because wasn't it? It was in your first or second season you got student player of the year.
Yeah, my first year. So I mean, the coaches there. It's a very well run project, to be honest, that they're running there. Obviously, with a lot of players who kind of drop out of the academy system, and they're kind of trying to get them back into it, really. So it was an interesting program, and I just kind of joined as it was really just starting to take off. So I was the first year. I was playing quite a few of the games. I think in my first year I played the most games, so I was playing with the second years as well. And but it wasn't just the football, it was kind of the educational side as well. So I had to kind of stick at it, and a lot of long days, getting up early, being there for 9, and then finishing at 4, not getting home till late when it's dark. Setting off when it's dark and getting home when it's dark at that age it's tough. But
as well as that, obviously you had a few loan spells away. Finkley, was it as well?
Finkley, yeah. So that was just when I'd finished in the youth team, we obviously got offered a contract, and all the other lads who'd been off been there a year before me, they'd all gone out on loan, and I was kind of got on the bench here and there. I think the first time I was on the bench was away at Stockport, and it was an experience. I think the gaffer texted me, rang me, sorry, and was like, make sure you're coming tonight, make sure you're there, make sure you got all your things with you. And it's a bit weird. So, and then turned up, and then he said I was obviously one of the numbers on the bench, and I was like, oh, Jesus. And it was a great atmosphere. I mean, when the goals went in, when the Stockport equalised, I think it just erupted. And it was, first time really properly being involved. I remember warming up down the side and getting some absolute abuse from the fans. I was like, okay, is this how it works?
And what level would that have been?
I was at Conference North, so at this level, obviously Stockport are an absolutely huge club. Yeah. So it was a great experience.
But obviously when you were there, I don't know if this is true, but it's stated you scored 4 goals in 7 games.
At Frickley, yeah. So managed to get out on loan, because obviously, like I said, the lads were on loan, and I was on the bench here and there. I was dying to go and play. And then in February time, I managed to get a loan deal to Frickley, just for a month under Lee Morris and James Kay. They were absolutely superb. I think we were in the relegation zone. I think we'd hardly won all season, and came in, and to start the first game was a tough one. I think we lost 1-0, and then after that kind of just flew, really. Managed to just keep, for some reason I just managed to score a few. I mean,
was that centre back or
no, right back? Yeah. So I think we played away at Nantwich. I think we got stuck on the bus on the way down there. We got there with 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go to kick off. We nearly got changed on the bus. We was literally ran around for a little bit, and and went on. I think we were 3-0 down at half time. But no, come out second half and managed to score 2 and got back to 3-2. We hit the post in the last minute with a free kick. We just missed out. So, but I think that kind of kicked us off really. We got scored a goal away at Marine, left foot swinger, which was a good one. It was an absolute goal swing, literally. But I don't know how it went in. Shot. But and then we just we picked up some really, really good results. We had quite a young side, a couple of lads on loan from like Doncaster and things like that. But we had a great dressing room again, which kind of stuck together, and we ended up getting out of the relegation zone. And then my month was up, and they wanted me to stay to the season. I wanted to stay, but unfortunately it couldn't get sorted, so I had to leave. And I think unfortunately they just went down as well, unfortunately. But it was set me in good stead and played with some good managers there. Yeah.
Well, after that, did you then go back to Halifax? Because you've said you were in the side that got promoted through the playoffs.
Yeah,
for them.
So I went back to Halifax and was kind of back into the fold, obviously on the bench here and there. Didn't manage to get on much, but was just kind of in and around it and learning and playing and training with some really good players and learning a lot. So it was a brilliant experience. And again, that dressing room was absolutely just like here. I see so many similarities. It's frightening, really, because I mean, some really strong, funny characters in there. I mean, obviously, likes of Matty Brown, who's still the captain there. Adam Morgan, obviously played at Liverpool. Matty Kozlow's at Fylde now, and some really strong big Tom Denton, who's at Chesterfield. So some good funny characters in there.
So after there, from what I can see online, it looks like you had spells with North Ferriby. And then obviously went to Grantham where you met Ian.
went on loan to Ferriby, which is when we were in the National League. I went and got started the season on loan there and Steve Alsham, and I'd say that was one of the toughest moments of my career really so far. Was toughest spells. And we had a really young team. The budget wasn't great, and we didn't have the quality really to play in the Conference North, and the owners weren't helping at all. They took a lot of the money out, so we were relying on, like, I know there was a few lads travelling from Birmingham who were getting like £30 and things like that, and it was just, they were essentially paying to play and travelling that way. And we just but I think there was one game where I must have had an absolute shocker, literally, and it still sticks in my mind now, where it was a really tough experience, but a learning experience. I think I had a sticky patch in the game, and I think it was just kept giving it away. I was trying harder and harder not to give it away, and kept giving it away again, and then ended up coming off literally just before half time, and I was absolutely devastated. Absolutely devastated. And I think it was tough, really. I mean, I spoke to a few lads at the Halifax and stuff, and they said, like, look, you go through it, do you know what I mean? It's about how you react. And a lot of good people around me, mum, dad, a couple of coaches who I'd worked with previously to get me where I am, who I did sort of individual stuff with, a couple of coaches like Chris Priestley, Holly Bradbury, give them a little shout out. I mean, I did, when I left Scunthorpe, I worked with them tirelessly, like a couple of times a week, just training with them, doing individual stuff, and they said, look, keep going, do you know what I mean? You got to work even harder now, and to get back in. And there was times to training I was still staying behind and doing extras, and then managed to get back in and stayed in from there, really.
Well, obviously from there, North Ferriby haven't had the best of times, have they?
No, they haven't, unfortunately. I mean, obviously they folded, and obviously they've reformed now and trying to work their way back up through the leagues. But some great people there, do you know what I mean? And it's a great club, and it's a shame that obviously it happened, but some great people there, some good memories.
So from there, Grantham, and there's been a few times where you've shone for them. There's been a few clips of you scoring absolute screamers on Soccer AM Forum. One that you tried to show off at the start of the season again when it came up. But yeah, how was going to Grantham?
Yeah, so obviously a new manager came in at Halifax. Billy Heath had got sacked, and Jamie Fullerton came in, and it was really tough for a lot of the young lads who were there, because he'd come from a full-time background, and he was he kind of pushed the younger lads away, and we were trying hard to show that we could mix it with them and things like that. And we've gone from being part of the group to then being sort of thrown away from the group. So we've been kind of involved and being a member of the squad, and then we were getting told to to come in early to set sessions up for the manager and things like that. And we were like, well, we've just been part of this squad for 2 years now, and now you're kind of taking us out of that squad to tell us to come and set sessions up for you before training and pick cones up. So it was tough for us, really. We didn't get treated with too much respect. And I mean, a lot of people might say, well, that's a young lad's job and things like that, and obviously back in the day, but I think obviously
modern times,
there's modern times,
really, yeah.
and when you've kind of been part of that squad and you've been playing, and you kind of, even when the senior lads are saying like it's not great and things like that, and you got members of, I'm not going to mention names or anything, but obviously you got members of the academy side, the coaches, who are saying, look, we don't agree with it and it's wrong, but he's a manager and you kind of just got to do it, really. So that was tough when other people were saying it as well, but we kind of just had to crack on with it, and ended up not getting a new contract under him, which was it was a shame how that all ended, really, to be fair, because we didn't even get we didn't even get told by the manager, we didn't even get told,
really?
Not even a wish of, like, obviously thank you, all the best or anything. It was nothing from...
Who was that by then? Just...
well, we ended up... I had my meeting with the head of youth. It got thrown onto him, really, which was a bit unfair, to be honest. But no, we not even a wish of luck from the chairman. Obviously, who I'd done a lot for, like, sort of helping promote the academy and things like that, and not even to get a meeting with the manager or a thank you text from the manager. Or it was a bit of a shame, really, how it ended, because a lot of the young lads had been there for a good 4 years and gone through the academy and things like that. So it was tough, really. But no, went on to trial with a few clubs that summer, and then it was one of my mates texting me saying, oh, like, what are you doing? And he was at Grantham, and he was like, oh, we got this gaffer, he's like, brilliant, we're looking for a right back. So I was like, all right, okay, like, what's his name? So he gave me his number, told me his name, whatever, did a bit of research. I was like, oh, okay, this could be a bit of a good move. And he told the gaffer about me, and he told me to give him a ring and stuff, and he sounded promising on the phone, everything that I kind of wanted to hear. And in terms of the way that he wanted to play, I was thinking, it can't be he can't be like this good, really. Went to training, it was brilliant, and got to training, it was good. And then he invited me back for a pre-season game, and took me in the office before the game and said, like, look, I'm going to play you left back to start with the first half, and then I'll put you to right back. And I was a bit like, oh no, left back. I was a bit nervous, because it was, I was stressing at the time, and it's a tough period, and I don't wish it on any player. I mean, especially at this level where especially for young players, for the senior players and things like that, obviously they will have probably gone through it at some stage, but I don't think there's that much support around anymore. Whereas, like, so if you leave a club, if you don't know your contacts and your ways and things like that, then you are struggling. I mean, I'm got a lot of like friends and things like that. Like, we're at Halifax. I mean, Matty Coslow's been absolutely superb with me. He's helped me out a lot, and I've still keeping in contact with him. He's a really good lad, and he passed me a few numbers and stuff like that, and sort of helped me out. And that. So, but no, we started at left back, and it was just, when everything in a game can kind of go your way and go right, it was one of those games, really. And I come off, I was like, oh, I've done all right there. I've done all right. And then he pulled me in the office after and said, like, look, I thought he was absolutely brilliant, and kind of discussed and said, like, look, obviously we want to sign you. And obviously I had a couple of things ongoing elsewhere and that, and then I thought, well, if there's one person that's going to help me develop, then it was going to be the gaffer. And the way he wanted to play, it was just a perfect fit, really, for me as a player, my style of play, and the way he wanted to play, it just fitted, and I ended up signing it and playing in there.
We'll talk about the goal that you've scored as well. So I think we were on the way up to one of our first away games of the season, and Ross gets out his phone. His phone's pinged off saying, "Oh, memory from today, this goal," and it was a good strike, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting, because I think I scored one the week before from the same area, but it wasn't quite as good. Yeah. So that was away at Marine, because the gaffer literally just said it was exactly the same, throwing on the far side corner. He said, just come inside and sit in there. And the week before, touch, hit it, and I thought, right. So it was 0-0 at half time, and we dominated the game, and we just not quite had that chance. But you know what? I had a touch and just hit it, really. I mean, it just flew. I mean, it's interesting though because the coaches that I work with, it's something that over the years, there's a lot more behind that strike than people think. People just think I've had a touch and just hit it. That sort of the technique behind it was something that had been refined for quite a few years, and I'd worked on for a lot of time with coaches, with Chris and Ollie. Something that a lot of technical sessions and just repetition, and for it all to come out in that moment, it was interesting. And they use it now to show some players, and when I coach players and things like that, just not even the type of goal, just the pure technique of it and the patterns before it and the setup and the way they strike it. It was, but it was probably the best I've scored, and I think it was the camera angle from behind as well.
I don't know if I'll be able to get a clip. If I can, I'll put it up there. But obviously, it got shared on Soccer AM. But as well as that, I'll branch onto this season. Obviously, the goal at Southport, that was also put onto there. Like, what does it mean as a player to have to see your goal on a nationwide platform?
Oh, I think
even a global platform.
Yeah, it was absolutely. I mean, the goal at Southport. I mean, I was showing obviously parents who I coached, but I showed other coaches, and it was brilliant to be a part of and watch. But as soon as the game finished, I was messaging you. Send me that goal. How many passes is it? How many people have touched it? And obviously I think it was all like 10 players touched the ball. Kept it for about 1.5 minutes, like 90 seconds, like that. 21 passes, and then it was just pure Ian Culverhouse how I would play really. And for Mazza to finish it off, I think you saw the reaction of all the players. Everyone ran over because we knew it was such a team goal, and even the home fans in the stand were applauding the goal, and it was just a great, solid team goal capped off with an unbelievable strike and finish.
I think it's also because you don't really get to see it at this level, because obviously the pitches aren't as good as Premier League pitches. Like Arsenal scored one the other week, and everyone was like going, "Oh yeah," but you don't see that for Kings Lynn. But
I think I've seen Man City retweet it as well, and quote retweet that. So it was good. Obviously the lads were absolutely buzzing because it was a great goal. But I think it was positive because obviously for lads, and then you kind of think, oh, the other teams are seeing they're going to set up against us now and not let us play our way and things like that. Because we'd rather teams come and have a go at us and then we can play that way and commit them in and play around them that way. But I think that kind of made teams realise that we can play and just sit in and stay off us really.
We'll go back a bit. Obviously you're at Grantham with Culverhouse, and was Wardy there as well?
Yes, he was the big lump. He was just an edit and kick it centre half. Couldn't play. No, he was good, to be fair. He was a good lad. Obviously he's come back now, which is good to hear. But obviously kept in touch with him even before he was back here. He helped me out a couple of months ago. I had a blowout on the motor on the way to training, and he brought me down to training. He helped me out. But he's a good lad, to be fair. We had a good start of the season. We had a solid back four. There was me, Tom Batchelor, Wardy and Ollie Lutz at left back, and we were nicking games 1-0, 2-1. We weren't conceding many goals. We weren't scoring many though. That was the issue really. And then we got one of our centre halves got done his ACL. It kind of just catapulted really. We struggled from there, but we just didn't have the players. The gaffer tried. Obviously we were playing the same way as we do here, and we just didn't have the quiet players who could really do what the gaffer was wanting us to do really. But no, it was some good times there. Obviously,
it comes to Ian leaving Grantham. Was it straight away? Like he was like, "I want you at Kings Lynn," or was it like a week or month later where he was like, "Okay, maybe we don't have a right back spot right now, and you can come in"? Or
no, it was I think he left about November time. Richard Thomas had come in. He was the academy manager at Watford now, I believe. For me as a coach, he learnt a lot of him as well. But no, the gaffer obviously came to Kings Lynn. He kept an eye on it and things like that, and whatever, because you hope that you've done well for managing. You never know. I think I was in the cinema. It was Christmas Eve. It was Christmas Eve. I was in the cinema with my family. Phone buzzed. I was like, "Who's texting me Christmas Eve?" You just think no one's gonna. I looked, it was Ian Culverhouse. I'm like, right. I'm like that. I'm looking at my dad in the cinema. I'm going, look. It's like, wait, what? So I looked at it and it's like that. Fancy coming down Kings Lynn or whatever, and that, and we had a discussion, and we had a chat. Obviously they went through the club, and they put an offer in, and then the chairman at Grantham at the time was trying to play a bit silly buggers really, and trying to be a bit daft. So it ended up falling through. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to get there for one reason or another, which was a shame because I think I came down to watch the game versus Kettering. I think it was just after Christmas or just after New Year. I think it was 0-0, and it just didn't quite happen for me. Just to see what the drive was like, really, travelling, just to see if I could do it. But it fell through. Changing managers again at Grantham, and it was later on. Obviously, I think it might have been March time. I think it might have been. I was told by the new managers. Well, the chairman rang me and just basically said like, you can go for free. You can go on. You can either go on loan to Matlock till the end of the season, or you can cancel your contracts. Okay. I wasn't expecting that one. I think I've started every game and played more or less every minute really, and I was a bit shocked. And I was told by the management team that they needed my wages to bring someone in, a striker, which I was a bit like, okay, but for myself really, I didn't want to put myself in that situation where I'd cancel my contracts, I had nothing to go to. Yeah. I had a conversation with Dave Frex, who was absolutely superb. I spoke to him, and then I texted the gaffer and said, like, look, they're letting me go for free. Would you still be interested? And the gaffer couldn't believe it. Like, they've just spent a couple of months being ridiculous, and then now they let me go for free. And I think he had a chat with the chairman, and they said, like, look, they can do it and get it sorted. So I ended up cancelling my contract there and signed at Lynn. But I spoke to Dave Frex. Obviously, Matlock was a great club at the time. They were about mid-table, but I think it was the opportunity to come down and the opportunity to come and play in team pushing for promotion was an opportunity I couldn't turn down. And he was brilliant with me. Frex, he understood the situation and wished me all the best, and still messaging him here and now, and he's doing well at Frickley at the minute there. He's gone back there and they're flying.
Well, obviously the season before you joined, we got to the playoff final and lost in the 90th minute. So it was heartbreak for Lynn fans, but then obviously we lose Colvhouse, Clark comes in, Clark then leaves, Colvhouse then comes back, and it's like the Lynn fans kind of want to believe again, because after there we went on a run. I think we lost, it was 3 games till the end of the season, but obviously the team above in Kettering didn't hardly lost the game either. So we kind of, I guess from a fan point of view, we kind of settled for second place quite early on because Kettering was so far ahead. Obviously when you came in, there was probably about 10 games left. So it was like, what did you see from the players' point of view? Yeah,
I think obviously I came in, I think the first game was Stratford. I think I walked in the dressing room, not met any lads before. I think Mike put me in the group Friday night. Turned up Saturday, there was Richo there. I spoke to Richo, and then all the lads came in, and Gaffer had a chat with me outside of what he wanted, and it was hard to go back into how he wanted me to play, because I still can't remember it, but it was a blow physically. I was blowing, but spoke to obviously Gaffer for what he expected, and it was interesting. I remember the warm up and a couple of lads firing passes at me, like obviously not seeing me play before, and trying to find me out really if I could live, because I know the lads have got massively high standards, and I think it was hard to come that team. I was very nervous, not knowing anyone, but as soon as obviously we got the first goal, I settled down quite well. But I mean, as soon as I come in, that dressing room was just a different environment to what I'd been in previously that season. The atmosphere after the game, after winning, I remember Ped saying to me, "Oh, Roscoe, this is what it's like to be in a winning changing room," and it made me laugh. It had the rock and roll on. I was like, this is just different. But no, we obviously went on that run, and obviously I think we're third. It come down to that last game, Stourbridge, the last game, to get that second place, that home advantage for the playoffs, which I think was absolutely crucial. It was so important, and that game was a brilliant game.
It was a brilliant game, and obviously the first goal, I think you got the assist for.
Yeah, from Mazda, I think.
Good finish as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, Hendo was running towards me, and it was like that gap. I still picture it now, and I was like, I knew that was where I wanted to go. I was waiting for the fullback to suck out, and then went in behind and pull it back for the main man Mazda to put it away.
Well, I can still remember at the end of that game, obviously you lot all came over to us fans, and it was you. in particular saying we've still got quite a long way to go.
Yeah.
Like on to the next game, because obviously the next game would have been Stratford at home, and then if we did go through, it was then Church at home. So it was like quite a quick turnaround. But obviously then, as a player, as a fan, it was more like the whole thing with Stratford, and obviously them fielding the player that shouldn't have been playing, and then as a player, you should have been playing on the Tuesday night, but that then got pushed back to Saturday. What did that feel like for you?
Yeah, that was very frustrating. Obviously, it was out of our control really, but as a player, it was a bit tough because you want to do your preparation right. You want to make sure you're right in your prep and things like that. Make sure you've got no other distractions. You just want to focus on the game. But when you're getting told it's going to be this day, then it's going to be that day. And when you're trying to do your match prep, and it's just about the timing of training and making sure you're right.
Yeah,
really.
I think 3 dates got set about. It was the Tuesday, then it was the Thursday, then it was finally the Saturday.
Yeah, and I think we were a bit frustrated at the fact that like other teams would get extra rest, which was a bit frustrating because we wanted it to be fair and make sure that we gave ourselves the best chance of going through and winning the playoffs.
Obviously, go 1-0 down in the semi-final. Then Hawks does what Hawks does, and
crazy finish.
I wasn't able to go to the game, but like from seeing what it was like on Twitter from fans and stuff, it seemed like it was like one of the best games to be at.
Yeah, I think Hawks' goal, I think I've seen the video of it, and I remember obviously at the time he's cut inside and he got fouled. And he's off balance. He stayed on his feet. He's off balance. And he's just hit a hell of a strike. The keeper's not even moved. And I think that goal had come from, or it might have been the second one. It come from the keeper miscontrolling the ball. It went out for a corner, and that's how we ended up getting the goal. But it was a great strike, and that kind of just lifted everyone and made everyone believe again. And I think they went out of this, and I think it gave us that boost. You know what, we're in here. We sensed blood and we ended up going on to
and then obviously Mike scores, then Rory scores the third, and then go on to Church, and then it's like you win 3-0 against a side that's had 3 or 4 more days rest than you, and it's like, well, maybe we didn't need that rest.
Yeah, it was interesting that game. I remember before the game, the gaffer said we're based on playing out and things like that, and I remember the gaffer going, right, I think the previous time they played them, they pressed really high and they expected us to play out, and the gaffer went, look, we're not doing that. We're hitting the big man, hit Gashi, and I think we just caught him and they couldn't handle him. Gashi, he's so hard in training. I played against him. He put me on the floor on Monday. But no, we just, and then obviously Mazza got the early goal, and I think it just settled everyone down, and we just got into our stride then, and they couldn't live with us.
And obviously that was the playoff final. There've been talks the whole season about this super playoff final, but I think quite a lot of people didn't know what was going to go on with it. Obviously Warrington went through, but we didn't know if it was going to be away at Warrington or if it was going to be at home. Obviously it ends up being away at Warrington. We take 250 fans because that was the maximum we could have, and from the get-go it was a really nice day. The pitch wasn't too bad. There was a lot of people there. As a player, is that one of the biggest games you've played?
Yeah, I'd probably say it is. With a lot on the line. It was such a hot day, and obviously we'd stayed over. There was a lot. I think obviously a lot of people as well in the back of their minds, obviously, because I knew obviously about the previous playoff final, and I think it was we didn't want to come so far winning our own league's playoffs, and then for that last hurdle. I mean, for both teams, it was
a big game.
It was a big game. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And obviously for us going to their place. Whereas for them, they play their home ground. They're thinking, oh, we've got a great chance here. And obviously, you know how hard it is to win away from home at this level and the levels below. But obviously, we managed to. It was a crazy game. Obviously, just scenes.
Well, because you got a knock quite early on.
Yeah.
And then you kind of tried to carry on, and it just.
Yeah, just before their first goal, I remember chasing Bowen Dixon, who I played with previously, and I gave him a little tug back. Just obviously on the blind side of the referee, and we both fell. And as I got up, it just pinged. Felt a twinge in my hamstring, and tried to carry on, and tried to keep playing. And then it was just biting at me and just biting at me and biting at me. I thought if I was to carry on, and something was to happen and I made a mistake because I couldn't function right or move right, then I wouldn't ever be able to sort of forgive myself really for being selfish and thinking, right, I can play on here, play on. For the best thing to do is to come off and bring someone on who can do a job. Obviously, like Jonesy came on, was absolutely brilliant, and then obviously give us the best chance with everyone actually at their best. Yeah. Because I knew if I was to carry on, I wouldn't be able to play 100%. So, but it was tough and it was absolute killer. It was horrible to have to come off. I think I played 47. That was my 48th game, I think it was, that season.
Which is quite a lot.
Yeah, I think the previous 2 years I played a total of 12 games.
So yeah, from that step up,
and then go to 48, and I think it was just probably just a game too far. I think it just won too many games, but it was. I'm just glad the boys got there and did the job. I mean, it was a brilliant day. I thought Richo, that I talk about
his goal was class.
Yeah, I talk about it in the car with him all the time, and I tell him I thought that day he was man of the match. I thought he was absolutely superb in that midfield, and they had a really good strong midfield. I think one lad, the lad who scores, just signed for Blackpool, is it?
Yeah, he scored 2 of the. Yeah, he scored both the goals, didn't he?
I think he's obviously just signed for in the league, so he was a top player, and Richo was brilliant that game.
Obviously, you weren't on the pitch for when Gashi scored the winner, but I spoke to Henderson about it. The mixture of emotions in that game, because they go 2-1 up, and us in the stands, we were thinking Slough, like literally deja vu. It was like the hottest day of the year. We're 2-1 down again, and then their defender seems to have like a lapse in concentration. Brings down Maz, who has been said by many people is probably one of the most composed people. And Hendo said it like his heart was in his mouth, but he knew that he was probably the best player to take it. What was going on with your head?
I think there was a picture, and you might be able to find it somewhere. Everyone's laughing. The gaffer's like this. Hendo, I'm laid on the floor, fiddling with a bit of tape, and I just thought, devastated. And then when we get the penalty, there was some couple of young kids next to me, and a woman just going on, trying to get you to buy it, and you just think, you just don't need it. Yeah. We're down in as it is. Don't try and move it in. But as soon as that penalty got in, when we got the pen, and Mazza steps up, I mean, when I signed, there was a couple of pens that he'd taken previously, and the guy doesn't miss. Yeah. He just
hasn't missed one this year either.
Just touch wood, it continues.
Yeah.
But his confidence and just the composure to just step up. And the fans behind the goal were throwing beers, they were rattling the goal because it was obviously all their supporters behind the goal, and the composure just to block them out, and just the whole season essentially on the line, and just to took it away, and it kind of lifted everyone then again to think, you know what,
the fans lifted massively.
And I think what got us through over the line was just the character of the lads. I mean, that dressing room is second to none. It's Mike, leader, Giles, leader, Gashi, Raws, leaders, or Ped's leader. Go through the whole team, every single person there is a leader and brings something to the team, and it's a great dressing room to be part of, and I think that's got us over the line, that togetherness.
I think it also showed what it meant to the players. Obviously, I would say in extra time, the first half was probably theirs. Second half, I've said it to a lot of people. Harry Lynn coming on, I think
he'd not played for a few months.
And him coming on, injecting the pace into it, actually helped us in the game. But the corner comes in, Gashi has a shot blocked, falls to Fraser. Fraser holds on to it. Gashi just kind of steals it off of him and just thinks, I'm just going to put it bottom corner. It was absolutely perfect for what it was. I don't think it could have happened to a better player.
No, I think just before that as well. Massive shout out to Ped, because he made a one-on-one save, which was absolutely huge. It was a great save, and that obviously allowed us then to Gashi he just steps in and he just whips it bottom bin, and he just goes, the place just goes crazy. Everyone's chasing him. Obviously you see the pictures now around the ground, and it just brings back so many amazing memories and feelings. The fact that the way he just caressed it in that bottom corner.
The reason why I say it couldn't happen to a better player is because he puts in everything every single game. He's been playing the last 4 weeks with a bandage around his leg. He's said himself he's probably not fully fit, but he's still giving it his all. Like against Kidderminster, he's named man of the match, and we lost, but he was still giving every single minute.
I think obviously the other week against York, we've had a corner, they've countered, and you see Gashi do a full length sprint and ended up clearing it out of the box from his own box, going for box to box sprints. Which I think if we'd had the GPS on, I think he'd have got top speed for the game. It was brilliant.
But
that's what he gives.
That was also quite late on in the game as well.
He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's a character and a true leader. And I mean, when he shouts at me, he does scare me a little bit. I mean, I know he shouted the other week at Sonny, and we had a little chat after, and he said, "Like, look, it's just part of the game," and that's how he is on the game, because he wants us to do well. He wants everybody to do well, and he expects so much of all of us, of the young lads, of the senior lads, because he knows how good we are, and he wants us to keep getting better and better and better, and for us to stay at those high standards and to keep progressing. But he's a true leader in that dressing room, massively.
And obviously, the highs of that, did you go away with the boys for the summer?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd only been there about 2 months. Ended up going to Portugal with a load of lads who I didn't really know too well.
There's been a few videos of that trip going around.
That was one hell of a trip. Was to say, obviously, I just only didn't really know the lads much. It was a great way to kind of, obviously, if I was to stay for this season, it was a great way to obviously get to know the lads, and a great celebration of what them lads have been through together. Obviously, I'd come on just really at the end, sort of thing, but it was a great way, and some brilliant memories. We've just been talking about it there after training. We've been in this surf bar, and there's like these surfboards, like obviously, like you got when you go to cruise, it's like these waves, and Raw's had a go, and he was absolutely unbelievable. He was a brilliant. If you give him a surfboard and chuck him on the sea, he'd be perfect. Take him to Australia, he'd be class. And then I had to go with him, and I was absolutely awful. I kept falling off, getting smashed by the waves, but Raw's true pro. True pro. It was brilliant. It was class. But
obviously, you went surfing down the escalator as well, didn't you?
Yeah, singing the Warrington song, and then Rose decides to go and slide down the escalator.
Backwards. Yeah.
Nearly knocking a little girl out on the way down. And then go absolutely flying, but it's just lads being lads in it, celebrating, having a good time. It was funny.
And you say about staying on. Obviously, it wasn't. You were one of the last players to sign on. For this year. Yeah,
it was a tough summer really. Obviously, I had a big decision to make. Obviously, the club wanted me to stay. I had a big decision to make in terms of the travel. And things like that, because it was alright doing it for a couple of months, but obviously when you got the winter months come in and the long nights and dark days and things like that, when I couldn't work all day, it was a big decision. But I'd always wanted to try and play at the highest level I could, and spoke with the gaffer and whatever, and spoke with Becky and managed to get it sorted. And there was no other place where I wanted to be really. I always wanted to be here. It was just finalising the small little details, and it was brilliant to be back on board with the lads, and it was I was glad to get it done in the end.
Well, obviously you do enjoy it, because you've just signed a 2.5 year deal. So
it's crazy how it works and how football comes around like that. Obviously, close to being one of the last ones to commit for the season, and then obviously halfway through the year, and then signing an extra 2 years, and it's a brilliant club to be at, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here. And yes, the travel's one thing, but it's football. I travel anywhere to play. Do you know what I mean? And to be at a club like this, which is growing all the time, it's only improving and getting better. The fans, the volunteers, the players, it's brilliant. You know, it's a great environment to be in, and it's the only place that's going to bring me on as a player. And they're great to my family, who obviously my mum and dad come down a lot. They're really nice to them, and it's a great place to be.
Well, it's been a great season so far. Obviously, we sit first. We're literally recording this 2.5 hours before York kick off against Boston. So if Boston could do us a favour, it would be helped. But I want to finish off on what you actually do, because you don't just have one job. you pretty much have 3 jobs, and one of them is quite important to you.
Yeah, obviously coaching, teaching. So what I do, I work for a company, 780 Coaching, which is based in Lincolnshire, that's Scunthorpe area, Gainsborough area, and we do some school work. So I teach in school in Scunthorpe, St Augustine, like Catholic school, St Augustine Webster, and teach PE there, but also sort of teach kids who within that school who struggle with behaviour or confidence and things like that, and try and improve their school life and their attitudes and things like that through sport. So I absolutely love it. I mean, you get a good connection with the kids, and for them you get a lot of care for them because you want them to do well. You get that connection with them really, and it's a good school to work at. A lot of good kids there, but also within the company we coach at a college, so we run a couple of college teams, which John Leggett College, which is where I kind of...
You're not doing too badly, are you?
Well, the college team, the college teams are going well. The college teams are doing well. I think the two lads teams are top, the girls team's top as well. But we run a development centre as well. But then obviously me voluntary stuff that I do. So voluntary coach a kids team under 15s. So they're like year 10 at school. They all got these little attitudes now, thinking that they're all players and things like that. Thinking that the next Firminos and Mo Salahs and things like that, but no, we've got a good side. Luckily, I just get to do the coaching, the managing side. I've got someone Steve who helps me with all the admin. He does me a favour and does all the admin and all the rubbish. Does all the rubbish jobs. It just allows me to turn up and just do the coaching side and the managing side really. But no, there's some good lads there, some really top players who hopefully can one day to obviously go and play at this level or higher. But I've said to them, as long as you're playing at a good level and enjoying it, that's the main thing. And
obviously for them, like, have they come into work saying, oh yeah, you scored a goal against Hereford or a goal against Spennymoor and stuff like that? Yeah, so obviously it's good, especially with the college lot, and obviously they're a lot on social media and things like that, so they see it. You know, they give me some stick sometimes if we've not played or if we've not done well or whatever. But we've not really had much to say this year, which has been good. But no, the younger lads who I coach, they're brilliant. They're always like, oh, have you got on and things like that, and they're always looking out and they're buzzed. I think two of the lads came to the playoff final. Really?
Yeah, 2 of them came up to the playoff final at Warrington, and they loved it. They talk about it all the time. I think they was in the Lynn end, and so they were singing the Lynn songs. I think there was one about a tractor or something, and it was absolutely, they're funny. They're some good lads.
So what I'd like to end on, obviously you've just had a 2-week break for dislocating, then putting it back in the same fall, which obviously is probably the best thing to do. How are you feeling?
Good, yeah. So obviously my AC joint, obviously don't know how I played on, but I think it's the adrenaline of the game. But I
think a few people have said, why did you then try and take a throw?
Yeah, I had the ball in my hand and I was looking around thinking, are they going to expect me to take this? Because I think it could go a little bit wrong. So I got.
It was literally a minute after you'd come back on the pitch as well.
Like, I think it was Giles went, Alfie, take the throw through. But no, obviously I've been itching to get back, and Carol's been horrible to me, making me miss games. I'm like dying to get back and play when the lads are doing so well. But I've had to be patient, and she's done the right thing really, not letting me play. And first week back training this week, it's been good. I think Gashi put me on my bum on Monday. We had a good battle. He won that one anyway. But he was like, Gaff was like, it was fine really. I'm glad he did it, to be honest, because it made me realise that actually I'm fine. So it's all healed and just raring to go, and hopefully get back into.
And obviously game on Monday, hopefully with the weather. This will probably go up the day before, so on the Sunday. The weather's not looking great for Sunday, so it doesn't look like we're going to have a game. But if we do, are you going to be fit for it?
Hopefully, should be fit for selection. So back in and fit for selection. So you obviously need to go on the gaffer picks. Obviously with some big games coming up, it's going to be a tough place to go. the pitch ain't probably going to be the best with
Well,
the conditions aren't going to be the best.
Evesham are playing on it today, so if it does go ahead,
yeah. So if their groundsman's watching, give it a roll tomorrow. Do us a favour. But no, it'll be a tough game, and every game at this level is tough. You know what I mean? To go away from home on a Monday night and a midweek game at any time when you've been at work, a lot of people have been at work all day to come and try and get a result. It's going to be tough. But the lad, we've had a good week's training. Obviously after the defeat last week, where the lads are buzzing to get back out there and put things right and get back to winning ways.
And obviously there's 15 games left of the season. You still got high hopes, because after Leamington at home, you did say this team can go all the way. So
yeah, obviously we've got 15 games to go, and I've got every confidence in this dressing room that we can, and we've just got to keep taking it a game at a time, and just keep not worry about anyone else, just focusing on us and focusing on who we're playing next, preparing right and executing the job, and we'll be fine. And one thing we've done this year, we've just enjoyed the ride and just enjoyed it, and I think that's what we've got to keep doing, is just enjoy every game as it comes, and that's when we play our best football. I mean, you look away at Southport, we just enjoyed it. We enjoyed the game, and we played well, and we got the result. The York game, we enjoyed the game, and we played well, and we got the win.
Yeah.
So it's just about enjoying. I think you saw the Boston game away, we just enjoyed, we played with a smile on our face, we enjoyed playing it, and we got the result. That's when we play our best.
Well, that is all we've got time for today. Obviously, you've now got to drive back up home. I've got to drive back to Norwich. But if there is a game, the game will be out on Tuesday night probably. As well as that, if it does get rearranged, we'll let you know in due course for when it is. But anyway, thank you for coming on.
No, it's been a pleasure.
And have a nice trip home. And I will
yourself.
see you on Monday.